the
Sorry.
global shipping crisis and the corona.
Games, board games, board games. It's what we're talking about. Board games, but I'm not gonna shout. Today I am going to be talking to someone who is self-publishing a roll and write print at home game on Kickstarter. They've
That's
done
cool.
well, very well, so let's congratulate them. But it can happen again and again, inspired by Voyages. They've done a fantastic session. Board games, publishing is what we're talking about. Hello, Thinh LeHuu. I hope I'm pronouncing that okay. And please do not shout. Hello, Thinh LeHuu. It is 10 a.m. UK time, and whether it's breakfast, lunchtime, bedtime, whatever, it is time for Busy Beats and Board Game Blether. And please, I apologise. Before the show started, I should have double checked how to pronounce your name. Can you please correct me?
Yes, you can just pronounce like you did, like Thinh LeHuu, yeah, something like that. But it in Vietnam, it's gonna be more dynamic. Yeah, so kind of that, like LeHuu, Thinh LeHuu. Yeah, it's kind of really
So
different,
it's
right?
Thinh LeHuu. Is it like that?
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Thinh
yeah.
LeHuu.
It's
LeHuu.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh my God, you're really good at
Oh wow!
that.
I mean, I didn't ask you to come on here to compliment my Vietnamese pronunciation, but I'm all here for it.
Oh
And
my God.
we met together in Board Game Hype. We had some messages, and I was like, "Oh, you're making this really cool looking game. I mean, you've done a great job with the Kickstarter. Congratulations! You've got almost 1,000 backers already." And I will just pop the link into the comments for everyone to check out. And yeah, you've done some amazing work there, but then your friend joined at the same time, and you're from Vietnam, and I've never spoken to a Vietnamese board gamer before. And so I was really excited to just hear from you and learn from you what it was like. Obviously, you do not speak for Vietnamese people, you are just one person. And I want to remind both myself, but also anyone watching that, because I've spoken to people from obviously America, Thailand, Japan, France, Germany, Italy, so many places. But yeah, I hope that doesn't. And it's exciting to speak to someone who's actually managed to make it work and show that board games through print and home and everything, they can truly be global. And I guess another exciting thing is that via the exchange rate that you get on Kickstarter, this is actually now going to be a fairly nice wallop of money, if I may say so.
Yeah, thanks. Really interesting uh, to have a talk with you today. Yeah, and mm,
Well, let's start off with the one question that I always like to ask, which is what have you been up to in the past week? I know you've been focusing on the Kickstarter. What has that been like? And what else have you been doing when not focusing on the Kickstarter? Let's talk about recent highlights, living life, fancying the sights, recent highlights, playing games and other delights. What are some of your recent highlights?
um, yeah, I think that I am fortunate enough to you know to have a nod from Parukan and Richard to join in the project Sales Tactics with me, and I think this is it's a blessing thing that I yeah the most the luckiest thing in my life until now. I think
Yeah,
so
having
because
good collaborators, I'm not going to lie, I am kind of jealous of anyone who has good collaborators.
yes, and you know, everybody. And the surprise thing is that I received a lot of support from the Vietnamese community. Yeah, yeah, I'm telling it here. You just kind of like, oh my god, it's just like, uh, why is that? Why don't Vietnamese people support me? Yeah, I have to say this first. The Vietnamese community is kind of strong um, and really enthusiastic in board game in general, but
Mm-mm-mm.
uh, but uh, they they don't really trust the 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 Vietnamese creator who make games and want to publish this in Kickstarter, because in the previous years, I think there's some people who like um, yeah, they was not very successful in Kickstarter, and they create some uh, bad fan on that. I
It
don't know,
feels
but
like, I guess, there is a wealth disparity globally. So it feels
yeah,
like most of these pledges are going to have to be from international backers. And, this page is all in English, which is not your first language. So you've clearly targeted the Americans, the British people, but like the Australians, New Zealanders. But English is the international language, let's be honest. But I'm guessing that, yeah, I'd be interested to actually have a very quick look at how it is different for. Sorry, I yeah, what the geographical ratio is like, if you know what I mean. Like, have you
um,
had any people from Vietnam backing this?
yes, yeah, that's why I'm saying that's surprising thing to me, because a lot of people in Vietnam support this project. Yeah,
45 people.
yes, kind of that. 45 people. I think that is a huge numbers. Uh, yeah, more than I thought, because uh, this is a new trend about board game. That's a post-smart game have come up with last year, right? And uh, you know, the Vietnamese board gamer are not used, not getting used to this kind of change, and I think this is very good thing. Yeah, people may want something like Rising Suns or Akita Quest. Yeah, a lot of people love those games in Vietnam, and uh, the backers from those is great. But this trend is different, and I honestly I don't expect that much high from Vietnamese community. I think that is good number to me.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, and most importantly, my brothers. I mean, I mean, the friends in board game community in Vietnam, um, uh, really support, and they saying about the game all the time. Yeah, that's really cool, really amazing.
I mean, well done on being able to make something that has clearly captured people's attention, and you've done an amazing job with the page. I know that before launch, a few people said, yeah, this is going to do really well. And there's always that bit of self doubt. Oh, will it do well? And you were like, oh, I'm not so sure. I could see you making these comments what in some of the creator forums on Board Game Geek. I mean, on Facebook.
Mm, mm,
But um, carrying on about recent highlights, myself, yesterday was a fairly lazy day for me, just chilling out. And asking people about their favorite podcasts and watching a lot of a show called Kim's Convenience and doing a bit of doodling while I was watching that. Drawing on some envelopes was nice. Let's have the next section, which was questionably quick questions, is the next section. It's not an
Oh my god.
interrogation, it's just a questionably quick question section. Questionably quick questions. So, my question to you is, what's the first game you ever played?
Uh, what the first game I ever played?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually didn't remember, but I think that's the Evolution. The
Oh,
game,
by North Star Games.
yeah, by not Star game. Uh,
That's
and
a fairly modern thing. So, I
that's
was
right, that's
expecting
right.
it to be something like, I don't know, chess or some traditional
Ah, oh my god. Oh,
Vietnamese
okay.
game or
Yes.
Monopoly or something like that. I mean, that's an amazing thing to be your first ever game.
Yeah. That is the Evolution is kind of the first game that hooked me into the uh, the board game hobby. But in when I was young, I um, I played some kind of the game, and in Vietnam, I really love a game. It's it's like a variant of Mancala.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love playing that game from the old days, and some kind of the game like Monopoly. Yeah, kind of that. mm, I always wanting to be a game designer, but a video game designer. Yeah, because I like games, and whenever I have played a game, I just like I want to create a game like this, but in paper. Yeah, because I don't know how to do it digitally, right?
And so, did you end up doing board games through necessity because it's easier, because you don't have to program and you can prototype
Yeah,
faster?
yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's really interesting. I followed this
Uh,
relatively
what
similar
what's about
path.
yours? What's about yours? How about
Well,
you?
um, oh, my first game that I can remember, it's probably Monopoly or Risk or chess, but that's what I was surrounded by. Hello, Josie. It is lovely to see you this morning. And actually, the one question, speaking of mornings, one question that I forgot to ask is, can you tell people in as much detail as you're willing to share, where exactly are you? And also, what time is it there?
I am in Vietnam, and it's 4 p.m.
And
Yeah.
which city do you live in? Or again, I mean, what are you in your living room? Are you in your bedroom? Help us paint a picture if you're willing to share.
Okay. I yeah. We can uh, continue with the next question, and I'm preparing for that.
Um, Let me ask you, do you prefer meeples or do you prefer figurines?
Meeple,
Okay,
definitely.
cards or cubes? And cubes includes dice.
Oh my god, it's really hard. This is a hard question. Ah, okay. Cars, cars.
Cards. Okay, yeah, I like that. Books or podcasts?
Mm, group, because I'm not very good at listening um, English. Yeah, I'm trying my best. Yeah.
Hmm. Are there many Vietnamese podcasts or are there none, basically? Are there.
Yes. There is. Uh, my close friend who's is in the board game community too. He has a channel called Vikic. Yeah, and he do some podcast about board game. discuss about board game in general, and we just have a more small talk about chip theory game last week.
Well, that's really cool. So it's a board gaming podcast all about in Vietnamese, and so all about what board games are available for you and enticing people into the more modern hobby games. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And Josie has a quick question, which is there a big board gaming community where you live? And where do you go to play games?
Um, Actually, there's two groups. Yeah, two big groups on Facebook that have like 2,000 to 3,000 members on in the group, and um, do you consider that big? I don't know, but I'm quite impressed with how they create a community, how they build a community, and um, yeah, those kind of thing. And the place that I use often play is the board game cafe or a coffee shop that I can go to there, bring my own game, and play with my friends. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Okay.
And one more question from Josie is: are there many historically traditional Vietnamese games that we should know about and maybe even go out and search? You've mentioned a Mancala variant. It
uh,
sounded like that was a Vietnamese thing, or is that one not?
Actually, I uh, can I split it into two questions like historical and traditional? Is it two kind of
Absolutely. Yes,
yeah.
please.
Okay, about traditional Vietnamese games, I think that we have a game that's really cool, and I'm telling you that that game works the same ways as Scout, the one has the nominee for Spear this year. That's called Thinh LeHuu, and you can search for it on BoardGameHype, which have an entry too. That means some kind of go up in English. Tiếng lên, yeah. That is a very popular game. That use playing cards uh, with the leather climbing mechanic.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. And every Tet, I mean Lunar New Year, yeah, people got to play this game a lot. Yeah, and about historical board game, I don't think I remember one. Um, I'm sorry for that, but uh, in Vietnam, there's a publisher uh, called mm, yeah, I can type for you.
Um, sure,
And
I know
they
that we won't, might not be able. And how
yeah
do you pronounce that? New Hang?
uh, yeah ngũ hành.
New Hang
Yeah.
Games.
Yes, and they publish games that use the Vietnamese culture. Yeah, and that is their unique selling point. Yeah, um, you can check it out. They have board games entry on board game too.
Okay, I will definitely check them out. And for those who were wanting to understand the numbers of that 2,000, 3,000 members, if we compare it to the UK, you know, the Big Cock, the biggest UK trading and chats Facebook group has 20,000 members, so it's about 10 times as much.
Yes.
But the UK landmass, it's, I'm just like 240,000 kilometers squared. Vietnam, it's 150% of that, so 331,000 kilometers squared. And then in the UK, there's 67 million. In Vietnam, there's 97 million. So it feels the density is quite similar. And
Yeah.
you are maybe like 1.5 times the UK, but 1/10 of the UK in terms of people actually being active in one Facebook group and playing games. Does that mainly just reflect the wealth disparity because games are still an activity for the privileged? Would you agree with that?
That is really interesting, but mm, thinking question. I think so, and I think a Facebook group or a Discord channel are places for people to connect to each other to share game experience, and I think that we should have gaming group, right? We can we can try to connect with each other because you maybe you uh, ver- cannot be very suitable for some people to play the game with. Like myself, I don't really like war game because the conflict is really strong, and I can handle that. you know, yeah, I am a sensitive, maybe. Yeah, so uh, I'm looking for people who more into cooperative or um, or elegant games. So I think that we should play with our gaming groups because that reflects our interest and our taste in board game. And we should go into the Facebook group to connect with people. Yeah, and that's is even greater when I can connect with you guys here uh, all over the world, right?
I mean,
Right.
it's amazing. Absolutely, as you say, you are over there, and we are almost as far as we could be without going into outer space or something. And
Yeah,
yet,
that's right.
we are able to communicate in just a fraction of a second. You can hear my voice, and I can hear your voice, and that's just amazing. I never. It's yeah. I guess if you play the most intensive video game, so let's quickly talk about brilliant things. Brilliant things. What's a little thing which is brilliant? What are some things that you love about Vietnam? And I say this as someone who has sadly never been to the country. I think I might have tasted Vietnamese food, but only in a foreign place. Like over here, it's obviously Vietnamese food put through many filters for us. And but yeah, I came to some neighboring countries. I went to Thailand, but I've never been to Vietnam. Maybe one day, when in a couple of years, when I move to Thailand again, and I will come and visit. But what is brilliant about Vietnam?
Okay. Maybe I'm biased when I'm saying this, but Vietnamese food is underrated.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
Vietnamese food is underrated. When I come to Thailand, the foreigners loves Thailand food a lot, right? And I
Mm-mm.
think that Vietnamese food um, is not uh, is not it's good too. The Vietnamese food is really good, and uh, if you enjoy Thailand food, you may enjoy Vietnamese food as well.
I mean, I've
Yeah,
been to Penang, an island that's part of Malaysia, and there's an amazing fusion of Chinese and Indian and Malaysian cuisine all on this one island. And
yeah,
I think that that sense of information does improve the food. But like, I guess with Vietnamese foods, then maybe you don't have that, but it's got this long culture and history behind it, right?
mm, yeah, maybe.
What is
um,
your favorite Vietnamese dish? And if someone was going over, Um, what city would you
Okay.
recommend? Would you recommend Ho Chi Minh, and what dish would you recommend?
I highly recommend broken rice. Uh, broken rice in Vietnam. But you have to be careful a little bit here because broken rice is really popular in the sound of Vietnam, not the north.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just have it in the south because the north don't know how to make it well. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm a bit biased here, but I really love broken rice here in Vietnam because uh,
Could you
mm,
maybe type that into the chat if that's possible? Pock and
uh,
rice? Rock?
no, broken rice.
Bokken. Broken rice. Okay.
Yeah, broken rice.
Okay,
Sorry
and
for my
but no,
pronunciation.
no, 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 no. But that's like, how would you, what would you ask for, like, over there if you were asking for this dish? Because presumably, and what's in it?
You have pork, some kind of eggs. Uh, mm, okay, I think that I will chat. I will type uh, the
I mean, I
Vietnamese
can find a um,
here, and
Wikipedia
you
page. Don't
can
worry.
search for it in the Google. I think this is
Okay, and where in while I'm looking that up, where in Vietnam would you recommend people visit if they were to come over?
oh my god. Oh, um, I think that you should visit. Vietnam is uh, Vietnam comprises um, various cultural aspects. If you want to see how dynamic Vietnam is, you need to go to Saigon. Yeah, that's in Ho Chi Minh City. Ho Chi Minh City. Yeah, I will type it here. If you want to see how cultural Vietnam is, you go to the capital city, Hanoi, for that. Yeah, and if you want to be there like um, you want to travel, you want to enjoy things, you love beach, uh, some kind of those things, you should visit um, Halong Bay. And there is a
How long
um,
be? I mean, that sounds beautiful. Does it live up
yeah,
to my imagination?
yeah. um I have been there before, but I heard a lot of good things about it, and from the image, yeah, that's a broken rice.
So this is from Wikipedia, where thank you people who put stuff on Wikipedia so I can freely share it. And here you can see a market stall selling how do you pronounce this? Kumtem?
Cơm tấm.
Kumtam.
Tấm.
Okay. Tam?
That's right. That's right.
Kumtam.
That's right.
And so it's not all mixed together by the looks of things. It's kind of a few different things kept separate on the
Yeah,
plate,
that's right.
but it does look like a nice dish. And I'm all about the variation, so I think I will definitely be coming over maybe in a year and a half to try this dish. And
Yeah.
maybe if I can get the internet signal on my phone, I don't know what kind of, or maybe I will take a picture and send it to everyone.
Yeah, that's cool.
Josie asks, in Vietnam, I am a vegan. So Josie is not able to have eggs or meat or dairy, no animal products. How easy
Yeah,
would it be for Josie
yeah.
to find food?
That's really easy because I know some of my friends are uh, vegetarian and vegan too, and we have some restaurant for vegans, and they are surprisingly good. When yeah, because I have no expectation when I go to those restaurants, but they are they 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 do things really good. I don't know how to explain because my language is a bit weird and and yeah, just that delicious. I can enjoy vegan food as well in those restaurants.
That does sound fantastic. And I'm just looking at a few pictures of Halong Bay on Vietnam to share, and like that is just beautiful. I can see like up. So let me zoom out slightly. But yes, Vietnam is on my list, says Josie. um, but yeah, I mean, this is just the green waters. It like I guess in that area, and there's caves, and presumably this is where all the tourists come to have a bit of fun, to see what's going on, to explore the nature, and to explore a bit more of the world.
Yeah.
Is
I,
there much tourism in Vietnam, would you say,
um.
these days?
Yes. Yes. There's oh, it's not mulism. It's I don't know how to call it in English, but it's a mm, Buddha, right? Um.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
Buddhism,
Yeah.
religion?
Yes, we have lots of uh religions here,
Or do you mean
and
pilgrimages, when people go on a quest because of the religion?
mm, yeah, that
Anyway,
mm,
at this point, um, I understand that there is going to be a slight language barrier, and you did warn me about this. And so, thank you very much. And I do apologize for sometimes speaking a bit quickly. And, but yeah, it's interesting. When you type things, of course, you can get someone else to look over it, but you've been doing, let me just say, far better than I would be able to do even in French, or even in my second, well, my second language might be kind of similar, but like, yeah, so, and so let me just reaffirm that you have nothing to feel embarrassed about. And to everyone watching, feel please comment, ask questions, thumb like, follow. And that is why I do these things live, so that other people can get involved if they so wish. So let's look at some pictures that you wanted to share with me. Um, and this is a game, Tantrum, that I'm honestly not familiar with, to be honest. This is a scene in a board game cafe. Could you
yeah.
explain what's going on here?
Um, the game is called Too Many Bones, and We were
Oh, this
meeting
is Too
at.
Many Bones. Okay, cool. I have heard of this one. I just saw Tantrum. I thought that was the name of the game. I'm slightly embarrassed now.
No. Yeah, we were
Oh, is
meeting at
Tantrum the
a.
character?
Yeah, that's right. The Tantrumi is character. I love
Okay.
that character. And we were playing a three-player game at a coffee shop, not a board game cafe. Yeah, and the game is from a friend of mine. This is a couple, and
Mm-mm.
they really love cooperative game, and I love cooperative game too. I often play with them, and they are nice people.
Well, it's always good to have nice people as your friends. How are coffee shops generally when you play games in them? Because over here, maybe if somewhere is too busy, they don't want you to play a game, and take the entire table because then are spending so much time
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe not buying as
That's right.
much food and
That's right.
drink. So how is that? Are they
Some
okay?
some coffee shop in Vietnam are preventing or prohibiting the act of playing board game in their shop too. Yep. So we must find the suitable one for us, the ones who allows us to play board game, and I think that there are only 20% of mm, the coffee shops, the general coffee shop, are preventing playing games because we're taking a large table and we sitting there quite a lot of times, and yeah, they
Mhm.
don't want to allow us to be there for gaming.
And whoops, I skipped past a few things. Um, Here, I feel like I is this smartphone ink or no?
Can you guess what game is this?
Can you recognize this game? I it, I don't know this game off the top of my head.
Okay, um, let me review the truth. This is a game from a friend of mine who is very uh, interested in designing game too. Yeah, and this
Okay,
is
so
the
this is
prototype.
a
Prototype.
that's an amazing looking prototype. So I
Yeah, that's
mean,
right.
the board
He's a
is really
yeah.
nicely done. Is this fairly standard that presumably when you play a prototype, it would already look as polished as this? Because over here, I know that most prototypes are maybe scribbles on blank cards.
Yeah, that's my prototype. That is very disheveled and kind of mm, unprofessional. But but his is very nice, right? Because he's
Mm-mm.
very skillful in crafting things. He have a printer at his home who can print the plastic. The dice, the cube you see here is the product from that
Mm-mm.
printer, and yep, he do he download the graphic. Yeah, definitely with license to use for his personal use too, and he put everything together to create a game, and the game is fun, but it's quite big, and he quite don't have time to develop it. Uh,
Yeah, and I guess then it's going to be a lot costlier to get
yeah,
published. Whereas that's obviously the advantage of print at home that we will
yeah,
get
that's right.
into in a wee bit.
Yeah, but
Um,
I
how
okay.
many? It's really exciting to hear that there's a variety of different designers in your city. How many would you say you interact with typically?
Um, maybe um no about 9 or 10,
Oh,
nine or
wow,
ten
that's quite a good
people.
crowd.
Yeah.
And I can see Spirits Island here, which is not a cheap game, and presumably to get sometimes the irony is that to get it sent to a country like Vietnam, it's not going to go down in price. It might even go up. Can I ask, do you know how much would it cost to buy something like Spirits Island in Vietnam if you wanted to buy it?
It's cost like let me see. It's got mm, let, let, let me think a little bit here.
Yeah, because you'll have to convert the currencies and everything. What?
It's like 10 days for my meat eating meal.
Okay. Would you be able to put like a price on it in US dollars or Great British pounds, or if you want in Um,
Uh, uh
is it
yeah, the
Dong?
Spirit Island uh mm, is sold with like about $60, right? And when it comes to Vietnam, it's gonna be uh 80 to 90, I think.
Yeah, that's just amazing to think that not only is the income a bit lower, but the cost of games is going to be higher. And that will continue to make it more and
Yeah.
more of a barrier. And so I guess that goes on to mean that when you get something like Spirit Island, frankly, I got it secondhand from someone. Oh no, wait, Spirit Islands. I actually won it in a contest. That's how I got my copy, because and then I got it. I played it a couple of times. It's a great game, but it still sits there because I've got a ridiculous number of games. Whereas here you're so into games and you're going to be playing this and really exploring it and giving it the time that it deserves.
Yeah. That is a cooking
And
actually.
here, I don't recognize this one straight away.
Mm,
Um,
can you guess? This game is popular last year. Um, yeah.
no,
Mm,
I honestly don't know it.
it's the loop.
Oh, the loop. Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, and that's my friend Simon Caruso. I know worked on that. So presumably you have been enjoying a lot of it. And because things are so expensive, how much research goes into working on something like that? I mean, goes into before you buy something like that, before you buy a big
Oh,
game like The Loop
okay.
or Spirits
Okay.
Island or
um, first, this is not my game. This is the game. Uh,
sure, but I
the-
meant you
yeah, yeah,
generally,
yeah,
not
yeah.
you
Okay.
personally.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I, I, I actually don't know how to explain this correctly, but uh, mm, yeah. For example, Spirit Islands, right? I will do quite a lot of research about it before I buy the game. Um, from the reviewer, the content creators on YouTube, or um, on the Board Geek review, some kind of
Mhm.
things. I search for it quite, I think, mm, 2 or 3 weeks before I go to the decision. I go
That
to
makes a
decision.
lot of sense.
Yeah,
And I guess that's a kind of reverence, if that's not too strong a word, of information and getting information out there, and that appreciation of understanding that
yeah,
before you spend quite a big chunk of money, or
yeah,
even a small chunk of money like $6 for your game, you want to have a good number of reviewers. I was actually really impressed with how many people you'd gotten to talk about your game. Um, so is this here an early prototype of yours?
yeah, yeah. That's right. That is the early prototype.
And we can
Um,
see the game coming in shape, and you had all these ideas, and this is arguably slightly nicer than a lot of my things might look. I would normally just hand draw it and then photocopy it a few times. But understanding, and here we've got dominant species, sorry, going back, I think it's so important to, before you start adding graphics, which of course that's going to make the game better, you understand that the game actually works without the graphics, right?
yeah, that's right. But I have to say that the graphic have elevated the game. Um, I yeah, my personal taste. That is not a barrier for me. I can feel that the game is good enough, just by the mechanic itself. But my friends, who are just a player and who are just players, and they, um, they are kind of like. I have a actually I have a close friend. He sadly he didn't like my game Shoe Tactics, and yeah, he frankly said it to me that he didn't like the game, and surprisingly, that when I come uh, up with a more polished version, yeah, he prefer it more. Yeah,
Of course. I mean,
he
of
starts to
course,
like the
nicer
game.
graphics are always going to be more fun, more interesting, and it sets the tone. Like when you look at the latest version, it's clear that this is going to be an adventuring thing. And
Yeah.
like, let me talk about where you play test, where you play games, because here we've got the big board gem or board game. I don't know how you would pronounce this, but here this is a board game cafe, I guess.
Yeah, this is a board game cafe that I visit the most. This is from uh, one of my friend shop too. The one on the left. He's the owner of the coffee shop.
And how, yeah, how accessible is this financially? I mean, for what I would say that a good, like for, I would say that for 90% of people in the UK, if you want to go to a board game cafe once every couple of weeks, that, it's something that it would be your entertainment for the night. You need to save up a little bit for it. If you are not particularly wealthy, for people who are, doing fairly well for themselves, they'll be like, yeah, I'll go for this will be my entertainment for this day, and it will be a bit of a special occasion. But people can, yeah, of it also within board game cafes, they have different pricing structures. And so some of them are more accessible than others. Would you say it occupies a similar space within the Vietnamese economic landscape?
Mhm. Oh my God, this is a really complex question to me. Uh, can you clarify it a bit?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, how financially accessible is a board game cafe in Vietnam?
You mean that the price for go to the board game cafe to have a section
Sure.
or
I mean, I
yeah,
am
okay,
interested in the price, the gross
yeah,
price
yeah.
for
It's
myself, but I'm also interested in the price as it relates to a typical income.
it's $2 and a half for each section. $2 and a half. Yeah.
So it's $2.50 for the evening, or for what
Um.
does that buy you?
Okay. It's kind of the philosophy of the customer because they allow you to sit there all day. But yeah, if I sit there all day, I will buy a second drink, and I will pay more when you know, because they charge uh 0.5 dollar for a game. So when you switch game, you have to pay for that each person. And
Interesting.
yeah, if you bring your own game, you don't have to pay. But if you sit for too long, I think that you need to buy the second drink or the third drink. I think so. Yeah, because it's kind of cheap in Vietnam. A drink is $2. Yeah, about $2.
And it's interesting that the pricing model is for each game that you bring out, because in most board game cafes in the UK, it's just based on the time. So if
Oh
you
my God.
play 10 different small games, then that will cost the same as playing one bigger game, which
Uh,
kind of makes sense. Whereas
yeah.
here, looking behind you, I can see a lot of tiny boxes. And if I'm being charged every time I bring out a new box, that would really turn me off from bringing out those boxes. And I can understand why you'd play something like Dominant Species, as we'd say on this table.
They yeah. Okay.
Sorry, you were about to reply. Please do. I don't mean to cut you off.
um, they yeah I think that the way the UK coffee shop charge money for time, right, is very correct here. And they they just like yeah, you can play whatever you want. They'll just bring out the game, set it up, playing the game, tear it down, and use it for 3 hour or 4 hour, and I charge more based on that. I think that is correct way to do it. But in Vietnam, it's kind of a little bit, tricky, uh, because um, yeah, you can play the game, one big game, but you only get charged for quite a half of $1. Yeah, I
Mm-mm.
don't know how to say this, but there's a lot of board game coffee that has that was canceled because of they couldn't handle the financial problem. Yeah, and yeah, just that.
I mean, Josie says, I think it's a good idea. I don't like being charged if I bring my own game. Happy to buy drinks and food. I mean, I like it when there's a cover charge to use the library, but then if you do bring just your own games and you don't use the library, then you don't get charged that cover charge. I think that is the fair thing. And if
Yeah,
you are there, you play your own games, you are going to buy food and drink, and it's the food and drink that pays the cafe, hopefully.
yeah,
But yeah, I know that, frankly, I was looking at a board game cafe in Birmingham for us to explore on the Monday after UK Games Expo. And even if we all brought our own games, they were still going to
yeah,
charge us a cover charge, which felt odd. But that's not the normal thing with board game cafes.
yeah.
Um,
Mentioning the BoardGame Expo, I really want to be there one time. And yeah,
do you
the
have any
games
big
are
conventions in Vietnam? Do you have any board game conventions like that?
um actually no, but we the players here in Vietnam are creating one, and there is
Amazing.
one in about 1 month.
Oh, exciting. So is that going to be a regular thing? So it'll be August every year.
Nope, it just let me remember. I have played board game for like 7 or 8 years. Yeah, the modern board games. Yeah, but
But
I only witnessed three conventions so far.
so all of these conventions are just one-off events and they don't sadly repeat.
Mm, yeah, you can say that again. Yeah.
Uh, sorry, are you asking me to repeat or are you
No, no,
saying
no, no,
that
no.
that is
I
correct?
agree. I agree
Okay,
with
cool.
that. Yeah.
And is this another board game cafe here or is this that we're
Uh,
looking at?
yeah. This is a yogurt shop. Yeah.
Oh, yoga
they,
studio. And so after doing a bit of yoga, then people chill out and play a board game.
yeah. It's a bit of the sudden plan. We didn't plan to play board game that day, but yep, it's just our sudden thing.
And of course, I think that's the joy of board gaming that they can.
This is one of the convention.
Okay, yes, it looks like there's a lot going on there. A lot of games lined up available to play, and a few people just, yeah, ready. I don't know what game's on the table, but it looks
That
exciting.
is, I think, a gold of Christmas.
Okay. And again, another board game cafe.
No, that is yeah, because the convention is was was held at a board game cafe, and they have different floor, so we have to go up and down to like to join the, the different booths. Yeah.
And here, how many people would you say there were? 50?
Um, about 150.
Great. I mean, that seems like a really nice number. And would this normally be a one-day thing, or are they
Yeah,
multi-day events?
one day thing.
And I guess there is that a couple of designers showing off their games?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It definitely happened there. Um, I think that there's about three booths that the designers showing their game, and I joined two of them. Yeah, I only
Mm-mm.
have time to join two of them, and yeah, I should send you a copy, a image of that. I forgot to include it here.
It's all
Yeah, but
good.
this is really cool. Yeah, I actually can go for it right now, and I sent you on the Facebook. If that's okay. I think that you would like the look of it.
But carrying on, just looking through here because I normally finish within an hour, but if you're happy to chat for a bit longer, I'm happy to extend this a little bit, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Just continue. Just continue.
So here we see Shu's tactics coming to life. You're starting to bring in the actual graphics. And yeah, let's talk about the inspiration for Shu's tactics, because you said you were inspired by Rory Muldoon and Matthew Dunstan of Voyages and Aquamarine more recently, but specifically Voyages, um, doing a print at home sheet
Yeah,
where you then get to keep, well, 10% of the money goes to Kickstarter, and you might need to spend some of the money
for
on
transition.
other people helping you or promotion
Okay.
or whatever. But the bulk of the money you actually get to keep, which is amazing when you compare it to actually having to create physical stuff.
Yeah, the uh, the advantage of this release model is that you don't need to make physical copies and ship them, deliver them all over the world. And I think that is a very good thing for me to start the board game passion. Yeah, the
Mm-mm-mm.
board game designing passion like you. Uh, and um, I think that one of my biggest inspirations come from both smart games when they release Voyages. When
Were you already working on a roll and write game at that point, or has this all been done since that original release?
yeah, actually, I'm working on a Royal Light game. Yeah, and but I plan to release this in physical, traditional
Mm-mm.
form. Yep. And when Voyages comes, I just feel like, oh my God, this is really cool, and they are so innovative. They deserve the success that uh, mm, that they deserve the success from the Voyages. Uh, yep, for their innovation and everything. And I think I should convert the game into the print at home format. Yeah, I think that is really cool, and it paved the way for me to create games. Yeah, I'm really thankful for that idea, and for Postmark game too. So I shout out them in my Kickstarter page.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, I truly appreciate, and yeah, mm, thankful them. Yeah, so justice have a chance to be born, right? Yeah,
Did you have
and
to make many changes to
yes,
make it fit this
you
format?
can take a look at the side sheet. Can you switch for the images so that we can focus on the sizes of the game. The one with the 20 bit trees.
Hold on. What view? Trying to bring back the sidebar. What do you want me to show? You could also show your own screen just to let you know. You are able to click the share button
Oh
to
my god. Okay.
share something that you want.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure what you want me to show.
Okay. Uh,
But
yeah,
let's
a bit low tech, so sorry.
so I guess I'll close that window and share the Kickstarter, which does look like it's a fairly involved game. There's quite a bit going on in this adventure. You say there's going to be at least 5 sheets or 5 adventures. And
Yeah,
as
five
I
chapters, right?
mentioned, I was really impressed by how many people you've got to deliver quotes. So you've
Yeah.
got right at the top, Rado
My
from
team.
Rado's runs through,
Yeah.
and then a little bit further down you've got Tom's Liquor Drips. Yeah, I do find this text very small. I see that you decided not to take that
Yeah,
feedback
yeah,
on board.
yeah. So, sorry for not taking your
No,
feedback because
that's
yeah. I think your feedback is really great, but I need the sentence like you don't need cars and things because it is on the section of it is on the section of you can scroll up a little bit to see you yeah it's really fit the yeah that picture you can play print and then you play. Yeah, you don't need
mm-mm.
to cut cards. You don't need to gluing something to make the game. So I think that I should highlight that.
I guess it was like if this box was just a little bit bigger, that would be my preference because this quote, which seems like the big thing, then the text is smaller than the actual text, if you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
you yeah for example, um, you can see that this here you can see that they are included in one picture. You can scroll down a little bit from white pledge to to yeah a little bit more yeah to the second gray value, right? They are on one picture because when you create a Kickstarter page you put the pictures so many pictures in there will be a lot of spaces.
Mm.
So it makes the yeah that's right it makes
And you can really see
the
how the pictures are separated there.
yeah, because that is one picture. I merged them into one picture to save the spaces. Because if you bring a lot of picture there, there's gonna be a lot of spaces and people, and your Kickstarter page is will very long. Yeah, so I trying to cheat a little bit here when I combine the picture into one. Yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
to make less spaces.
I mean, so who else is involved in this? I mean, there's yourself, and I know your other friend who.
Yeah,
Um,
just the two of us.
so the design, development, and art was all done by 2 people.
Yeah, no, no. Oh, sorry, sorry. Oh yes. Me and my friend Nick Fand. I'm the owner of the project, and I designed the game, right? And he is a contributor to the game. He make some graphic. Uh, yep, it's just a small. He's not very professional, but he's is really supportive. Uh,
I mean, if
on the
Nick has
art,
done
on
all
the
of
art.
these
No,
gifts
no,
and
no. on the art commission.
Okay, so how many people would you say are involved?
Uh,
If you
three three artists in this game. Yeah,
Okay, so there's
two
5 of you.
are friends of mine, and one is an artist that I found on the internet on the one Facebook group. Yeah, he's cool, but a bit late for the response. Yeah.
So with these 3 different artists, so I guess one was doing more the graphic design for the Kickstarter page and maybe the GIFs, and one was doing more the icons, and one was doing more the broad illustrations. Was that roughly how it separated? How was the art divided, is what I'm asking, between
Uh,
these 3 artists?
you mentioned the price.
No, you used 3 artists. You said you used 3 artists?
Yeah, that's three artists.
And how did you divide all the art and visual design
Okay.
between
Yeah.
the 3 artists?
I am I'm kind of like the art director. I'm going to divide the job for them. Like a friend of mine that is a female artist. I have her on the soldiers, the icon, and for the heroes, the legendary heroes in the game. I'm going to have another guy to do that for me. And oh, sorry, but I received a lot of call. Can I get for like 1 minute?
Shall we finish up? I'm happy to finish up if you would like. It's been a delight chatting to
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. I just need 10 seconds. Yeah, just
Okay,
can we
cool.
just pause?
Sure. So, yeah, it is interesting, definitely, to hear about. What struck me about that conversation was firstly when I asked how many people were involved, and to hear it's only 2 of us, but then to forget about the other people that are commissioned. And it makes sense in a way, because the people who are paid and a flat upfront fee, they're not really stakeholders in the same way. I mean, if I were working with someone, and when I pay Chris or someone else potentially an hourly wage, I don't consider them part of the team in the same way that I do myself. Because if someone else were to come on and say, yes, you get 30% of this and you'll get to share and you're doing
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
this for nothing, then absolutely that's a
So
different scenario.
you are able to illustrate things, right?
Um,
The
Not
picture,
as nicely as these people.
yeah, but the picture behind you, I mean the wallpaper behind you, behind the screen is from yours or you?
Yes, I did all the arts in all my own games that have been released so far.
Oh my God, that's really cool. I think that you have taste, you have a really good taste. That yeah, it just mm, I think that the can you show me more about the game or?
But my games, that would be a separate conversation, so you would have to um, look it
Okay,
up.
okay.
I was actually going to start wrapping up anyway, but it's just interesting to, and
Yeah, I think that's good. I think this is really good, honestly.
but let's yeah, continuing down your Kickstarter page. So yeah, I was amazed at how many videos and everything you've got. Paul Grogan of the Gaming Rules that might have, their special chapter if we reach that stretch goal. Rado, Slicker Drips, and I don't know, Veselko, Kalava, Sir Thekos. Swords and Board games, and then you've got some of the, like Stella, presumably Meeple University. That was something that you had to pay for.
Yeah.
For which of these, and the Start Player, Lexi, Daphne, Adam the Fanatic, Rest and Reason, um, Games Enfys, Matthew the Friendly Board Gamer, Dang, Donuts and Dragons, Njia Viet Geek, and presumably that was a, well, they're able to speak English well enough to write their own quote. But out of curiosity, what was the budget like? Which of these, if you're willing to say, were paid for? And I assume that the majority of them were people who are just saying, we are excited to try it, just send us the digital files, in which case it's very cheap, because I assume like Matthew, the friendly board gamer, would have been friendly enough to say, yeah, just send me the digital files and I will print and I will give it a go. Which of these were media did you have to pay for, and how did you choose them?
Um, Actually, none of them. Yeah, yeah. From those who you speak here, none of them ask for money, and I d- you mentioned Vesicle, Sotekos, and or um Donut and Dragon. Yeah, some those, those guys, right? And
Mm-mm-mm.
mm, the star player, and I actually make a post on Facebook group called Reviewers, and I show my game to uh, gauge their interest, and uh, if they are interested in the game, they're gonna comment below, or I will DM them for more information. And from those guys, I think Certecos and Vesicle is I am a fan of them before. Yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
I just got to know the the their channel. I just got to B&B last year when the coronavirus break out in my cities. So I really into solo, and I want to explore more B&B options. So Certecos and Vesicle is two out of those channels who I directly email them for the collaboration.
So you emailed the people that you already have a lot of respect for and that you're already using yourself as a gamer. And then some of the people in the reviewers and media channel, I think Stella is actually one of the moderators. And then you presumably sent it to all the people who said they would be willing to give it a review on that channel. Is that correct?
Um, yeah, Stella. Yeah, I actually make a payment for her because he she this is his service. This is her service, right? And uh, you know, I actually have a I don't know how to call it in English, but I was lucky enough because when 3 years ago, when I created my first Instagram account, and I follow those board game enthusiasts like Jamie Strackmeyer, Middle University, yeah, those mm, content creators, and Stella did make a comment on my avatar in my on my Instagram, and I didn't know that until now. You know, it's kind of um, a, a good deed that uh, I don't know how to explain. Yeah, but I think that is
Yeah, it
really
got
cool.
you onto her radar, let's say.
No, but I think that's it's like
Why
uh,
no?
our collaboration is was distinct. Yeah, I just feel like that
I mean, if
because
someone comments on your icon, then surely that you are on their radar. Or
I
maybe,
don't know. I don't know. It's
but it has been a lovely chat, and I think it's about the time to wrap up. And what I like to do at the end is to ask if you have anything that you would like to ask me and anyone watching. So if you could ask me and the viewers at home anything, what would you ask as a question of the day? Question of the day. Here's a little question before we go on our way. And Josie's, yes, on our radar might well be an idiom for the West that is a bit
yeah.
confusing, and I do apologize for the language barrier. But what is a
Yeah.
question you would like to ask us?
Um, will you will you go to Vietnam after listening to my PR about my country?
Okay, that's an interesting question. So, has this show encouraged you to actually head off and go to Vietnam? Personally, yeah, it has. I mean, I was already likely to go, frankly, because I am moving to Thailand at the end of next year. So I was
Wow,
likely
that
to
is cool.
explore things, but yeah, it would be seeing the Halong Bay is just beautiful, and I am now excited to, you know, check out the bits of food. And Josie says, I'm definitely more interested in going to Vietnam as I was a bit worried about eating there.
Yeah, you are a vegan, and I think that's just
I am not, Josie is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
But
just
yes,
yeah say to her that you are vegan and you don't need to worry because there are some restaurants, yeah, especially in Saigon, where I live. Yeah, there's a lot of restaurants for vegan, no egg, no meat. Yeah, and they are really good too. Been I've been there sometimes, and I can rest assured this. Yeah, and uh, would you? Yeah, I see that you kicked the game on Kickstarter, right? Yeah, yeah, really thank you. Really appreciate that. That means a lot to me, honestly.
you're very welcome. I mean, as I say all the time, I don't back everything. I don't back most things that I back for a full copy of the game, but it seems like a really cool thing and worth supporting. And hopefully, me backing it has pinged a few of my followers because I know that a few people might be following me on Kickstarter. And Josie says, I have just backed it too. And
Oh,
Saigon is
thank
the
you,
starting
thank you.
place then.
Yeah, just need
So
that.
you are up to well over 1,000 backers, comfortably 1,082, which is fantastic. And how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I'm feeling grateful for everything because I never expect this thing to come. Yeah, I when I see people go for the change and they got a huge success for that, I'm just honestly I'm envious for for those, and I I'm kind of the pessimistic guy who's always because I don't want to have to have a high expectation, and because you are really easy to uh, go down in emotion, go down in hope if the project doesn't meet your expectation, right? So I'm always expect really low, and when I I because the live stream of us is really interesting and real. I feel the positive vibe, so I don't want to tell this here, but I was discriminated for many times when I got to the ball game design. So
Hmm.
yeah,
No, I'm
so
sorry to hear about that, but please take a minute if you would like to share a story. It's okay.
yeah, um,
And, I guess there'll be trigger warnings of discrimination and racism. I'll pop that onto the screen. Discrimination. So, yes, please share your story.
uh, actually, yeah, I because I don't have any roof. I when I went to some group about designing game on Discord and on another platform, I been in a playtest with them. Yeah, because I always want to have people, and it's really cool to see a project from start to finish. So I really want to have them whenever, when they show the game to me and the other people, we play the game, and yeah, everything went normal. But at the end, they didn't care to ask for my ID, ask for my feedback. And yeah, it's just one time. And another time, they come to test my game. Yeah, they play and they mimic my accent. Yeah,
So, this was on an online playtest or was it
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
person?
yeah. The online playtest, and I don't want to, brought, I don't want to bring it here because this is kind of negative things that. Um, harness my ability to talk more about myself. And whenever I come to the Facebook group, I always like, oh my god, I'm really nervous. I'm scared of everything. Like how people gonna discriminate me or something, some kind of that. I always want to comment on the post from people to give out my ideas, right? And but when I make a post on Facebook, I was really worried and really nervous. So that is the reason that I don't expect high for the project. So when
Mm-hmm.
it hit 1,000 backers, yeah, the only feeling that I have is I'm really grateful for everything. I'm grateful for the design lab group, for BoardGameHype, for everything, for yeah, you and backers. Yeah, you from till this day, I can't believe that one day my game can be on Kickstarter, can be on uh, uh Powergen table, kind of that. Yeah, it's just unbelievable and incredible.
You've done a great job, and it's clear from just looking through the campaign that you've put so much work into making that sure that these tricky set of mechanisms work well together. You've listed the feedback of people, and yeah, taking the banner off. Thank you for sharing. I agree with Josie. No one should face that. Some people are just horrible. I won't ask you now, but I might ask you privately which playtest group it was, and you can tell me or not privately. It's up to you. But
Yeah, because I have no roof on that, so I don't want to share. But this is my
yeah, I
experience. Yeah,
understand that there's always a desire not to badmouth things, right? And
yeah,
there's always a desire to, yeah, make sure that because of the backlash, and sometimes I get it. Like as a designer, like I sometimes review things, and I am less likely to badmouth something from someone I want to work with. But like at the same time, you can go through my videos when I was reviewing a lot of games and look at some of them from companies that I have worked with and would like to continue working with, and they aren't always positive. I like to think that I do give a balanced opinion, even when I've got a reason to. But a good company, like I know, should then be like, okay, that's fine, you're right, and that's your perspective. As long as someone doesn't misrepresent the game, if they say, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like that, then, if I'm complaining about the size of a box, for example, which is something I will often complain about, if for someone buying the game, they don't mind about a big box, then they know to ignore what I'm saying. And if I say, oh, I'm annoyed at, but I hate randomness, I like more control than the typical person, people will understand to take that on board. But anyway, it has been a delight. At this point, I like to say, over to you. What are you up to? You can share button if you want to. So what are you up to today? I am going to try and get a bit of work done. I'm going to try and, maybe a tiny bit of house admin, like by which I mean life admin, but also definitely getting some more stuff onto my web shop, because, taking some photos, putting that onto my web shop, taking a nicer photo of a game about selecting 7 cards, speedily searching for synergies. And I'll make sure to head out. I might even head out in the evening. I'll see how I feel. But in any case, I will have a good hour or so of cycling or walking around. And what are you up to? And what would you like people to know, and where would you like people to find you?
After the live stream, I think I'm going to go to the gym. And you can find me on my Facebook account, or you can make a inbox in the Kickstarter account too. I'll be there, and whenever I receive a message, I'm going to reply as soon as possible.
Mm-mm. And it's really awesome what you and Nick are doing. And please check out those links over there. Josie says, I'm going out for dinner later, so looking forward to that. That sounds fantastic. And how did it all go with the essay that you had to write? I'm curious about that, Josie.
I wonder if you want to go to gym and keep the vegan diet. I want to know that how that could be possible, because you need protein from meat, right?
But Josie has been vegan for many, many years.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah.
Because I think that you get enough. Josie can probably give tips on getting protein, but I think tofu is a good source. And Josie says, mostly finished my assignment. Only a little left to do. Congratulations. And to recap and wrap up, before we finish up, we chatted about evaluation of things, Mancala, being in love with board games, about the time difference, about loving cards and books, about different parts of Vietnam, broken rice. Sorry, what's that actually called? I need to actually check. Kum Tam. There we go. Kum Tam.
Kum
Tam. We talked about the regional differences between price. We talked about the South and about the Vietnamese South. We talked about the game and how you got into making the game. We talked a wee bit about that and about the other people involved, like the 5, very, very quickly about the 5 people involved and, choosing. I would have loved to chat more about how you decided to pay for Maple University and how that was worth it or not. And because I mean, something like that, especially for the regional differences, is a very big budget, I guess. And so to be able to have that, we talked about the small one-day conventions, and maybe one day there will be a bigger regular thing. And then we talked about a little bit of discrimination and racism based on accents and everything, which is really off. If you want to check me out, I'm of course Stuff by Bez in all the places. And if you want to check out my future streams, check out stuffbybez.com/streams. Tomorrow I'm going to chat about the future of the show. Very briefly, nothing much is changing. And Tuesday will be a short solo thing before I work on Seize the Power with the Inside the Box stuff. Alan will be talking about Action Events, which is a wargaming system, meeting Sally Walker on for like lots of stuff. Check it out. And Bez Day is coming up. So if you've not already checked it out, please do check out stuffbybez.com/contest and stuffbybez.com/art contest. And those will take you to the design contest for the LDEC and the typography contest. And so if you feel able to invent a game for the LDEC, you might win 100 quid. You'll definitely get lots of feedback, and you'll get as much mentorship as I am able to give you and as you would like. And the arts contest, it's a similar thing where you have to draw 7 letters. That's all you have to do. And speaking of the number 7, Josie says, been vegan for 7 years, and it's all about tofu. And speaking a little bit more about the number 7, I got a preview up of my next Kickstarter, which is going to be about selecting 7 cards, speedily searching for synergies. I need to make much nicer graphics. The graphics aren't going to be as nice as what you've got, but you can see the prototype, and I'd like to take a better picture for the front there. And hopefully we will have slightly nicer graphics in time for the launch on maybe the 2nd or 3rd of August. We'll see how I get on with that.
We'll look forward to that.
Thank you very much. And yeah, that's going to be, there are going to be budget copies. So if you do not have the cash to pay for it, it will be a physical thing, but you can get, well, the print and play, you have to cut out the cards. But then if you want a physical copy, at least some number of people, based on how many followers I get, some number of people, I will subsidize a copy, so they will get a free copy. You only need to pay the postage cost. But please spread the word of all of this. Thank you, everyone who's been part of this. Thank you, Josie. Thank you, anyone who watches this and is lurking. Thank you very much, Thinh.
Thank you, Blaze. And I'm sorry for my bad English.
No, don't feel like you need to apologize, or it's like there have been a couple of misunderstandings, but it's all good, and we have had a delightful conversation. I hope that everyone will agree. For now, there's only one thing left to say, and yeah, Josie says your English has been amazing. Ironically,
Thank you.
A slight typo there in Josie's sentence, but I know that Josie hopefully won't mind. Like, even as native English speakers, yeah, I found that quite funny. But lots of love, and bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye.
See you.
Thank you for watching along. Bye. This is the end of the show. Bye. And now it's time to go. Bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye. This is the end of the show. Bye. And now it's time to go. Bye. Bye, Thinh.
Bye, Bees.
Okay. And